Hey, what is going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life and the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It's 9:10 in the AM Central Time. Yeah, I wanted to report about the Nexo thing. Again, listen, if I said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, and I will continue to say it. We can no longer afford to be naive about where the real fight lies. It is not, the fight is not between Nexo and Celsius and which one is better. That's silly. It is not between Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP. It's not. That is silly. The fact of the matter is that this is not the internet of information. We're talking about the internet of value. And the banking cartel doesn't want you to win. They don't want you walking away from their liquidity pool and have an ability to choose your own money, store your own money, and make your own and choose your own monetary policy. Period. That's the fight. It was just a matter of time before they were going to come at the Nexo for whatever they could come up with. For whatever they could come up with, under the guise of investor protection. It's a lie. It's all a lie. How many times must we hear the banking regulators crying about how many of us are walking away from their banks and their traditional financial products? How many times can we hear that before we realize that they don't want that to happen, and they will do whatever they have to possible to make it happen? It's amazing to me how no one is looking into the fact that the SEC went into Celsius Network for about 90 days. And then all of a sudden, a hole is exposed, and or I'm going to say exposed. It doesn't take away from the fact that there was a hole. Celsius management made mistakes. How did that hole get exposed? Do you really think it was Swan, Bitcoin, or whatever they call themselves? How does the SEC investigate? Again, this is not just me asking. Congress is asking. Congress is asking. Let me say it again. Congress is asking, where was the SEC in Celsius and Voyager and 3A? Where were they? If their mantra and mission, part of their mission is to protect investors, where were they? They let this happen so that they could make a point and use this to push the agenda. I'm going to, I think that in the next video, I'm going to cover a really, really excellent thread by a guy who points out, something that we've been pointing out on this channel time and time again. But in any case, Nexo, it was just a matter of time. Think about it. Think about everyone that they've gone after: BlockFi, Voyager, Celsius, and now Nexo. Think about it. Why? Why? Because we could earn money on our money? Right? 25 years ago, we used to earn 7-8%, 6 to 8% on our money. What happened? How come all of a sudden that's no longer available? When are we going to get fed up, frustrated, and fed up and angered by the fact that Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan can make billions of dollars in a quarter in profit? Not in a year, not in 2 years, not in 3 years. In a quarter of profit, not revenue generated, billions in profit. When are we going to wake up to the real fight? The SEC is not our friend. The SEC does not want to protect us. The SEC and Gary Gensler is doing the bidding of the banking regulators, period. Stop being naive, my guy. That's the fight. That is the real fight. And Nexo it was just a matter of time. If it come over to Nexo. This is your XRP Ripple Daily News in around 0 to 10 minutes. Forgive me for my rant. More than a half a dozen U.S. security regulators filed actions against crypto lender Nexo. A lot of people thought Nexo was good. A lot of people thought, oh, you know, the people over at Nexo aren't the people over at Celsius. And my point the whole time was, it doesn't matter who the people at Nexo are. The banking regulators don't care. They don't care. When they come up with something, they're going to come up with something. Broker-dealer licenses and broker-dealer unsecured securities. When it's time to come up with something, they're going to come up with something. Crypto lender Nexo is having issues with state authorities from California, New York, Washington, Kentucky, Vermont, South Carolina, and Maryland. The enforcement actions from multiple state securities regulators detail that Nexo's earned interest product may be in violation, of securities law. Nexo targeted by several securities regulators over the crypto lenders' earned interest product. Who sent these state regulators? Did they just wake up in the morning and say, oh, okay? Come on. Are you really that naive? This is all planned and organized. All planned. And a lot of people think, it's so funny too, because a lot of people think in the digital asset space, you know what they think? Oh man, they're not worried about me and my $100. Oh man, they're not worried about me and my $1,000. They're not worried about that. Oh man, you know what? My 10 grand, 100,000, they're not worried about little old me. Really? Let me ask you this. When you have $1,000 in a checking account, you got, you got $1,000 in a checking account, and you messed up, and now you got a overdraft. Are they gonna let you go on that overdraft fee? Because you know you just got $1,000. I mean you're right. What about $500? Those are your $500 in account. Are they gonna let you go with a no activity fee? They're gonna let you go with that? They're gonna let it slip because you only got a $500 in the account? No, they're not letting you go. A no activity fee. They're not letting you go. Here's the suit from the OAG, the office of, I think it's the Attorney General in the state of New York. I'm going to read a couple of things here. It's very, very interesting. Let's see what page. This page is the good stuff. The good stuff is on page 7. Interesting stuff. Let me go here at the beginning. Supreme Court of the state of New York. The people of the state of New York. Attorney General of the state of New York. Her name is Letitia James. I feel like I've heard that name and seen that face before. Against Nexo Inc. and Nexo Capital Inc. The people of the state of New York by Letitia James, Attorney General of the state of New York. OAG alleges the following against Nexo Inc. and Nexo Capital. Between at least June of 2020 to the present, the defendants operating through their publicly accessible website and mobile smartphone app, which allows users to purchase, sell, deposit, trade, borrow against, and earn interest of virtual currency. I mean, do you think it's a coincidence that the state of New York, where Wall Street resides, the largest capital markets in the world resides? Do you think you think it's a coincidence? It's just happenstance that this where all this stuff is originating, all of these suits. The office of the Attorney General is a gig. It's a job. It's a job. It's a person filling a job. If Congress and members of Congress can be in the pockets of banking regulators, you don't think this person would have just a gig here again? Oh my gosh. But okay, well, violated New York Martins Act and executive law by acting as unregistered security brokers or dealers and/or commodity brokers and dealers. In particular, Nexo, without registering with the OAG, offered and sold within the state of New York, both securities and commodities in the form of virtual currencies purchased and sold on Nexo's virtual marketplace known as the exchange, and pooled investments that Nexo referred to as the earned interest product. Nexo has also violated the Martin Act and executive law by falsely representing that it complies with applicable regulations and licensing requirements. Nexo's website and other public marketing have repeatedly included material misstatements and omissions. This is where the management team at Celsius, in particular Alex, is going to get themselves in trouble, because a lot of people at Celsius, the Celsians, quote unquote, don't understand that this is something that can be brought up in court in charges in terms of federal fraud. Included material misstatements and omissions regarding the safety and legal compliance of Nexo's investments products. For example, in response to media reports about the OAG's initial investigation, Nexo made a public statement falsely denying that it was transacting in securities or commodities in New York. Although Nexo has taken certain steps to address its violations of New York law, it has continued to act as an unregistered securities broker or dealer by virtue of its ongoing maintenance of several thousand New York-based investment accounts. And Nexo is going to say, you know, when we heard from the OAG, we stopped doing this for the New York residents, then we stopped doing this for US residents. And the OAG is like, it doesn't matter. We have a job to do. We're doing the bidding of the highest regulators in the world, which is the United States banking regulators. The Attorney General seeks an order enjoining Nexo from continued violations of New York law, directing Nexo to pay restitution and disgorgement in connection with this unlawful conduct, and for such other equitable relief as may be necessary. Factual allegations. Nexo, acting in the U.S. primarily through Nexo Capital, offers various virtual currency-related financial products and services to retail and institutional customers. Nexo conducts its business, blah, 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 via web. Okay, Nexo promotes its financial products and services to investors for its website. Through this channel, Nexo has advertised the ease and speed. Okay, that's great. Let me get to the good stuff. With this OAG, the Office of the Attorney General. Here it is. Nexo has unlawfully offered securities and commodities in New York. Under New York state law, a dealer is a person or a firm that is engaged in the business of buying and selling securities to the public. Securities Celsians. Under New York state law, a dealer is a person or firm that is engaged in the business of buying and selling securities to the public within or from New York for their own or its own account. Why do you think the SEC has never been clear about what is and what is not a security? Why do you think the vagueness? Like, why do you think that was? Why do you think that was? Why the gray area? Why no definitive? Because then when you make it clear to Nexo and Celsius and Ripple and everybody else, when you make it clear, then those companies can do their thing. But if you keep it vague, then we can attempt to raid your financials and bring you down so that we can allow the Charles Schwabs and the JP Morgans and the Citadels of the world to do this and bring us back into their liquidity pools. That's why. Under New York state law, a commodity broker-dealer is a person or firm that is engaged in the business of selling or offering to sell commodities through commodity contracts to the public within or New York. A commodity contract means in the account. Okay, great. Dealer brokers and commodity brokers must register. Dealers, brokers, and commodity broker-dealers must register with the OAG pursuant to this thing prior to any offer to purchase or sell securities or commodities. Failure to register is a fraudulent practice under the Martin Act, unless you're exempt. Neither Nexo Inc. nor Nexo Capital is registered with the OAG as a securities broker or dealer. Neither Nexo Inc. nor Nexo Capital is registered with the OAG as a commodities broker or dealer as defined in GBL, blah, blah, blah. Furthermore, the defendant do not fall within any exemption available under the GBL or the regulations promulgated thereunder. Neither Nexo Inc. nor Nexo Capital is licensed to conduct virtual currency business activity in New York pursuant to the provisions of New York CRR Part 200, nor is either entity a limited purpose trust company pursuant to the provision of the New York banking law. In 2021, the OAG, the Office of Attorney General, commenced an investigation into whether Nexo was offering its various virtual currency products or services, including the exchange service and the EIP within or from the state of New York. In the course of that investigation, the OAG obtained evidence confirming that Nexo permitted New York-based customers to open accounts with Nexo, buy and sell virtual currencies in those accounts, and to participate in pooled investments via the EIP. In October 18th of 2021, the OAG delivered a letter to Nexo demanding that it immediately cease and desist further unlawful activity in New York relating to the provision of its products and services. In that communication, the OAG informed Nexo that it was unlawfully selling or offering to sell its savings wallet account and fixed term deposits, which the OAG is saying that both is a security within this state without having registered it as required. Nexo is serving as a dealer, broker, or salesperson because its interest-bearing products, securities are openly available for use by New York users. That letter stated Nexo's dealing in Bitcoin and other virtual currencies within this state without having registered. Having registered is unlawful. Certain virtual currencies have been recognized by courts in New York as commodities under the Martin Act. Commodity broker dealers, salespersons as identified, and others as identified in the Martin Act, who deal in those instruments within or from New York without having registered, violate the law. Following public reports regarding the OAG's October 18, 2021 letter, Nexo tweeted a statement. But they're not concerned. These people are getting to Twitter. They're using Twitter. They're not concerned about you and your $1,000. Tweeted a statement from its official Twitter account denying that it did business in New York. And they have the tweet right here. Nexo, apparently, I don't know who knows if this is the real Nexo Twitter account. Nexo is not offering its earned product and exchange in New York. So it makes little sense to be receiving a cease and desist for something we are not offering in New York anyway. But we will engage with the New York AG as this is a clear case of mixing up the recipients of the letter. We use IP-based geo-blocking. In the course of discussions between the OAG and counsel for Nexo following delivery of the October 18, 2020 letter from the OAG, Nexo acknowledged that contrary to its public statements, Nexo, in fact, had thousands of active New York-based accounts that had purchased or sold virtual currencies or invested in their earned product. Upon information and belief, New York-based customers collectively accounted for at least tens of millions of dollars in notional trading activity across Nexo's various products and services, including the exchange and the earned product. Nexo further acknowledged that it did not require users to be verified, nor did it subject user accounts to its risk-based IP blocker until a minimum threshold amount had been deposited into the user's accounts. In other words, Nexo did little or nothing to confirm the identity or location of users whose deposits did not exceed its minimum threshold. Upon information and belief, such unverified customers could access Nexo's platform, buy and sell virtual currency, and utilize Nexo's products and services without providing any personally identifying information beyond an email address, password, and means for two-factor authentication. Again, guys, we can no longer afford to be naive about what the real fight is. And this is a problem for the banking regulators for the simple fact it is not about registering. Give me a break. It's about the fact that there were companies out there like Nexo and Celsius and BlockFi that were allowing you and I to earn interest on our money like we used to. Registering as a broker-dealer, commodity broker-dealer, or whatever it is incidental. It can be done. It could have been easily have been done. Why not having the necessary licenses? Who knows? The ultimate bottom line is that they could have had 10,000 licenses. The OAG, because they're doing the bidding of the banker regulators, would have come up with something else. They want you and I to go through JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citadel, Vanguard, and use their traditional financial products, period. This is not about the internet of information. This is about the internet of value. And you got to understand, for all the XRP axes and the ETH maxis out there who don't get the big fight, you want to talk about Bitcoin's technology and forget about its monetary policy. You're missing it. This is about you and I having the ability to choose our own money, the ability to choose our own, store our own money where we want to store it. Why do we have to store it in their banks? Why? That's what the real fight is about. You and I choosing our own money, choosing where we want to store our money, and choosing how we want to spend and where we want to store it. Choosing our own monetary policy, our own. If we believe Bitcoin has value, we believe that. If we believe gold has value, we believe it. If we choose to walk away from the fiat dollar, it's our choice. They don't want that to happen. If we choose to make the fiat dollar our third choice, we should be able to do it. Not have their monetary policies that says the fiat dollar has to be your number one choice. That's where the fight lies, guys. So in any case, this wraps up our XRP Daily News in around 0 to 10 minutes. I hope it has been of value to you. If it has, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring that notification bell so you get notified whenever we upload a video or whenever we do go live. I'm going to end this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather that we remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it.